And welcome to my short first look video on KT88-K3 Oldchen tube amplifier. It's fresh out of the box. It comes with no remote, but it comes with a power cord in the box, and the idea is to take a look at it before it'll go for a week long, I think, burn-in. So the first things first. The cage is removable. It looks quite nice and it's quite solid. Yeah. The amplifier was probably freshly painted because I can still smell the paint on it, although everything is dry. It has, as you can see, nice light gray color. It's quite heavy. The box was described as almost 22 kilograms. And in the front we have status LED, power switch, 2 VU meters, volume control and input selector. This tube amplifier uses 3 Oldchen, which are actually made by PS Vane, CV181-SE tubes, and it's also using a regular PS Vane KT88-C tubes. I've ordered the more expensive version with better tubes. Now, nothing to see on the sides, and in the back we have 3 sets of RCA inputs for CD, digital to analog converter and auxiliary, and we have 2 sets of speaker binding posts for 4-ohm speaker and for 8-ohm speakers. And here we have a power socket with integrated fuse compartment. These venting holes allow you to see quite large, 3 quite large transformers inside. The middle one is something like that, and there are 2 smaller on the sides. Now, once we've seen that, I will remove all the tubes and I will turn the amp upside down so we may be able to take a look inside. So give me a second and I'll be back in no time. Okay, I'm back. As you can see, the bottom plate has quite a lot of venting holes, and it also has 4 solid large rubber feet. There's also warranty void seal, but that never stopped me before. So the lower plate is quite solid. It's not as solid as in some of the clone amplifiers, but still it's something like, I would say, 1.5 millimeters thick. And now we can take a look inside. So, starting with the caps. These MKP ones are branded with Oldchen, which is interesting thing. I wonder who actually makes them for them. And these are 0.47 microfarads. And how much? 650 volts DC. The large one here is Nichicon. I'm not sure, I cannot see the rated capacitance, but I would guesstimate, basing on the size of this capacitor, for it to be something like 10,000 microfarads. All the black ones, these guys here, and these guys here, are Rubicons, although the printing of them on them is not as sharp as I'd like them to be. And we also have one ELNA capacitor, and that's it. Oh, sorry, and 2 more, these 2 guys. They are some local Chinese brands that I'm not familiar with, so nothing I would recognize. As you can see, basically everything is soldered point to point. There are almost no PCBs here. This one is an exemption, and everything else is soldered point to point or using this universal rails, universal connector sets here. So it looks quite nice, although I'd love to see some more isolation in places like that. I don't know, heat shrink tubes or something like that would be quite nice, also on the legs of the capacitors here. I would just feel safer, something like that. Two more transformers, that one and that one, and that's basically it. The input selector is connected to these inputs, and the input selector looks quite simple. It's just a mechanical switch. Maybe you'll be able to see how it works. And as you can see, the volume control, the volume potentiometer is nothing to write home about. This would probably be the first thing for me to replace with something better, more expensive. And so basically the input signals goes from inputs to switch, and then from switch to volume control, and then from volume control to the first tube here. So let's zoom a little, so I'll give you more detailed look of the insides. If you'll notice something interesting here, just give me a shout and I will update the comments. And as I've said, it will go for a burn-in right now, so I would expect it to have it playing for something like a week. We may try to take a look at these green caps. Yep, as I've said, NTDNDZ. Don't recognize the brand. Now, all in all, it looks nice. I would expect that kind of quality for the price, and in many ways it's similar when it comes to the internal build to the Cayenne, although Cayenne uses slightly better components, and of course the isolation is on a higher level. Yeah, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed that video. Stay tuned for a full review. If you've noticed something interesting, please share it with me in the comments. See you next time, guys. Bye.